Attention spans are rapidly reducing, and as a consequence, the ability to focus on anything at all is becoming more and more of a rarity. Therefore, in a world consumed by instant gratification, the ability to focus on one goal is becoming a superpower. And with a landscape like this, even those who believe that they are achieving a lot with their time are often grinding away with little to nothing to show for it. This is because quantity of work does not equal quality output. So if quantity isn't the answer, in other words, how much time we use, then what is the answer? It's quality, which is how we spend our time. The good news is that with just 6 months of figuratively disappearing, you can return 5 years ahead of where you'd be otherwise. Imagine how much different you'd be. A whole new you with new skills, talents, abilities, and a goal accomplished that was so monumental that you would have thought that it could have taken a lifetime to complete. Now, this isn't just some cakewalk. It requires entering monk mode, which is a disciplined way of living that removes distractions and sharpens focus, while cultivating the skill of deep work, which is the ability to focus on a singular task for a prolonged period of time without getting distracted. And deep work is where the real progress happens, allowing you to accomplish much more work than people would expect in a shortened span of time. It's that quality that we were speaking of. And while these may seem like radical changes to enact for a whole 6 months, it can be made very easy with this clear blueprint. Step 1, define your goal. 5-year goal, 6-month time frame. We only possess a finite amount of energy that we can expend each and every day. Therefore, it becomes very important to illuminate clarity surrounding one big goal so that your energy isn't siphoned in every which direction by toxicities in your life. And without clarity, then motivation will never become enabled, and discipline will just be a hollow shell, unable to persevere. Start by creating an ambitious 5-year goal. And if you're struggling to think of one, then try imagining your ideal day. Does that ideal day include working a minimum wage 9-to-5 job? If not, then it's time to choose a skill to develop. Because to make real money, you either need to invent something entirely new or do something that already exists better than most. For me, in this moment, my goal is to turn my YouTube from a side hustle / hobby into my full-time occupation. 2, create milestones. Most of us aren't patient or persistent enough to maintain one singular goal for an entire 5-year span, and nor should we be. Goals that are actually achievable are shapeshifters. They never stay in one state for too long. They require continual iteration as the fabric of our reality breathes in and out. So instead of trying to stick to one big goal for 5 years, let's compress that goal into a 6-month time frame. Let's break it down into daily, weekly, and monthly itineraries so that the goal is more digestible and less monumental. Reframe each step as a milestone rather than a task, translating chores to achievements. For me, as an example, these milestones include daily, write for 30 minutes to an hour in the morning, followed by editing for 30 minutes to an hour. Weekly, upload a new newsletter and YouTube video every Saturday. Monthly, reflect on analytics, recalibrate my creative direction, and plan for the next 4 weeks of content and topics in alignment with my long-term vision. Step 2, design your deep work routine. 1, schedule deep work blocks. This kind of goes without saying, but without persistent effort towards your goal, you will get nowhere. But with persistence, those fallen trees along your path become mere kicking rocks. But if that persistence isn't channeled through deliberate, focused action like deep work, then you may end up grinding your gears for the rest of your life with little to show for it. Take an honest look at your daily routine and figure out where deep work can fit in. Because you have more time than you realize. Most people spend entirely too long entranced by their devices or procrastinating on their to-do lists. In fact, the average person spends 6 to 7 hours daily on screens, and 2 to 4 hours procrastinating. That's over half of your waking time, assuming that you're sleeping 8 hours. Even if this isn't your exact reality, you could still try waking up an hour earlier. Devoting even just 1 hour a day to your deep work routine, compounded over 6 months, can completely transform your life. Ali Abdaal, who is a hugely successful productivity YouTuber, recommends scheduling out deep work blocks like a non-negotiable meeting with yourself. One that you would never miss or show up late to. 2. Craft your environment. Our brains are easily distracted, and in fact, they want to be. The mind will look for any escape that it can from the one thing that it knows that it should be doing. And in today's ever-evolving technological landscape, that temptation is rising and rising and rising. That's why it is essential that you craft an environment that's incapable of distracting you. This means eliminating clutter from your surroundings. Keep the room quiet, minimal, and free of unnecessary objects. Most importantly, remove your phone from the room entirely. And if you find yourself still distracted, searching the internet aimlessly when you know that you should be focusing, then consider downloading website blockers. And if you're finding yourself being pulled by outside tasks, for example, a sink that's full of dishes, like I actually have right now, then remind yourself life is on pause until your deep work is done. Alex Hormozi, who is a successful YouTuber and entrepreneur, literally advocates for using earplugs to create that tunnel vision effect. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go that far. You may need to, but I think it proves my point. Do whatever it takes to protect your focus. Sever distractions like your life depends on it, because your future might. 3. Implement daily routine elements. Many people stop optimizing once they've designated their deep work block time and have created the environment within it. But we can take it a step further by weaving it into a broader ecosystem of complementary habits. When ordered with intention, not only does your clarity improve, but so does the substance of your work. Dan Koh, a popular writer and digital thinker, recommends alternating between periods of filling the mind through learning and clearing the mind through journaling and meditation in tandem with deep work. And I follow a similar structure. I weave my deep work in between my aerobic and anaerobic training sessions. I also do the same with sauna and mindfulness practices like journaling and meditation. During most of these, I have a book nearby or a podcast in my ear. And the beautiful realization is this: while these habits enhance your ideas, creativity, and focus in the short term, they also increase neuroplasticity, boost brain and body health, and promote longevity over the long run. You begin to generate an energy field of sustainable living and quality output. And in truth, you do have time for all of this. Remember those statistics on screen time and procrastination. And it just requires replacing old bad habits with new positive ones. Instead of watching TV before bed, read. Instead of playing video games, get in a workout with an educational podcast. Instead of lounging around, go for a walk. And this doesn't have to be forever, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just begin by implementing 1 or 2 of these habits during this 6-month sprint, and you'll witness changes that will ripple far beyond the deep work block itself. Step 3, eliminate distractions and shallow work. 1. Cut the noise and implement boundaries. Unless you cut out distractions, they'll haunt your focus like a dripping faucet in a silent room. Not loud enough to demand action, but persistent enough to drive you insane. While you could indeed persist and get your work done, there will always be a chance that you may succumb to these distractions. And sometimes that's okay, because distractions can serve as a pressure release valve, but it's best to schedule them intentionally as rewards for hitting milestones, rather than indulging in them as spontaneous failures. Therefore, severing them initially, then implementing them slowly back into your life when you have deserved them, is the best approach. This is all about disappearing and entering monk mode. While you aren't literally leaving your life behind, you are metaphorically getting in the zone and announcing a temporary hiatus from traditional comforts such as social media, TV shows, video games, naps, unnecessary social outings, and the endless loop of minor obligations. And if you're experiencing difficulty with this, then consider uninstalling apps, unplugging your TV, and announcing a social hiatus to your friends. Now, this may sound extreme, but the truth is that if they are your real friends, they will support you along your journey. Personally, I set up do not disturb times in my day. Now, it's not literally pressing the do not disturb button on your iPhone, for example. Rather, it's just making it clear to the world that you will be unreachable during certain periods of your day. This is necessary because even just a 5-minute interruption may biologically derail your entire deep work block. Personally, I've implemented these boundaries anytime before around noon and after around 8 p.m. So people get around 8 hours to contact me on my phone. 3. Systemize shallow tasks. While disappearing to a cabin in the woods and becoming hyper-focused and diligent on your singular goal may be ideal from a productivity standpoint, it's far from practical. Distractions can be minimized to a fraction of their original weight. But shallow work, on the other hand, such as emails, chores, and the countless responsibilities required to uphold daily life, can't be eliminated entirely. Sure, it would be a whole of a lot simpler if we could delegate every minor inconvenience in our lives to somebody else or a robot or AI, but we aren't there yet, and most people don't contain that luxury. That's why it's crucial to designate specific windows for shallow work, to contain it rather than let it sink into your daily life and pollute your focus. Personally, I schedule most of my shallow tasks later on in the day, and I often habit stack them with other routines. For example, I stack a lot of routines with podcasts, including cleaning the house or doing the dishes. Step 4, tracking progress and next steps. 1. Reflection and adaptation. Like many things in life, this entire endeavor is an organic, ever-evolving process, not some concrete list of duties. If you treat it as something rigid, then you may soar high at first, but you'll inevitably come crashing down. That's why it's crucial to continually reflect and adapt. And because without regular check-ins, you lose the ability to course correct when something goes wrong. I recommend keeping a log, regularly reflecting on what's working, what isn't, and how your systems can be improved. Personally, I just do this every morning. And alongside that, I create a to-do list, and it's not just any to-do list usually. Most of my routines and systems in my life are tailored towards the goal of assisting with my YouTube success. If doing this every day feels excessive, well, that's totally okay. Start whenever it feels right and start at your own pace, but set a schedule and stick to it. Whether it be daily, every other day, weekly, even monthly. 2. Evaluation. By the end of your journey, take some time for one more evaluation and be honest with yourself. Did you accomplish your goals? Consider writing out a summary of what you built, how you changed, and how it all felt. Whether you achieved 5 years of results in just 6 months or not, chances are that you still made a tremendous amount of progress. And most likely, you also developed some essential skills along your journey, such as sharper focus, better work habits, and a deeper understanding of just how powerful you can be when your energy is directed towards a single unified purpose. Now imagine what you could accomplish if you continued with this momentum. Ultimately, you should take this chapter of your life and extract the best elements in order to put them into your permanent lifestyle. That way, you can continue to thrive in your work and live a life that is more fulfilling and balanced while still getting it all done. Or if it resonates with you, you can make this way of living your new normal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. It does help very much. I tremendously appreciate it, and have a wonderful day. Thanks.